Hey, is Jack the Ripper in Manhattan? Ah, it's Jack the Ripper. Oh my God. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-I-S Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books. Nothing special going on here. Maybe a little kitty cat war. We'll see what happens. Please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Um, every time I get a few likes, 5 of you unsub. So if you're gonna sub, could you stay subbed, please? Just please. So, anyways, we are on our second book, A Gilded Age Mystery: Lies That Comfort and Betray. Rosemary Simpson, and we will be doing the Victoria Thompson series soon, the Sarah Brandt, Frank Malloy series. And while both series show how corrupt the police were back then, it's just hard to believe that it was, well, I guess we do know for a fact it was this bad. And how the rich and the mighty dollar controlled everything back then. Although one could say it does that now. We had the James Patterson 6th Degree book, and the villain got off pleaded insanity, but because he had a really good lawyer, he got off and was able to murder again. So, this is our second book, and we've got Prudence Mackenzie is our lead, and Josiah Gregory works as the secretary or assistant researcher for Mackenzie and Hunter Mackenzie investigations. Jeffrey Hunter is the lawyer, and he was Mr. Conklin's partner, and Mr. Conklin died in the previous book. And now we have 3 young ladies. Don't you kill him. No. Smokey. Smoke. I see the evil eye you're giving him, Smokey. Come here, girl. We have 3 girls. Well, first, they start off by talking about the Whitechapel murders, Jack the Ripper. And then they have 3 young ladies supposedly killed by Jack the Ripper. All known to Prudence in one way or another, maids, and a maid of hers, and then a maid of someone she knows. Don't kill him. Be a good girl, Smokey. She lives to kill him. But it's just, she knows these girls, these innocent little girls who've got fantasies of, marriage and making a house for themselves and children and all that kind of stuff. And our first young lady is Nora, and she's in love. She's supposed to marry this nice Irish boy because she's Irish, but she falls in love with an Italian guy and supposedly gets with child and does a confessional at the church, and then she ends up dead. And not only does she end up dead, but all of her organs are removed, and it's done precisely. Someone's training for medical school. Not. But anyways, so, and then Prudence and Joffrey investigate, and they arrest Nora's current boyfriend, the Irish kid, and without 0 evidence against him. No evidence. Zero. Nothing against him except for the fact that he was a boyfriend. And they proclaim that because she was with child, and they really don't know this for sure, that he beat her because he got mad because she was cheating on him. No evidence at all, and they lock him up, and they nearly kill the poor guy, beating him and water torturing him and all this other kind of stuff. And then they lose track of where he is. They lose his paperwork, and he disappears in the tombs. That's what the prisons were called way back when. And then the second girl gets murdered, and she's dating a police officer who plans on leaving and dumping her in the next couple days. But he's telling her he's got a promotion and he's moving out of town. And then when she ends up dead and sliced up the same way the first one was sliced up, the police arrest him, the cop, and do the same thing to him that they did to the first guy. Again, with zero evidence except for the fact that it was assumed that she was also with child and she had also gone to the church to make a confession. So you're led to believe that the connection is with the church. So we have these two guys that have been beaten severely and tortured to make them confess to something they didn't do, and then locked in the tombs to die because your cop is corrupt, because your commissioner is corrupt, because he doesn't want the public being aware that they have a Jack the Ripper in the city. This whole thing is just so wrong. So massively, massively, massively wrong. And Prudence and them do their best to investigate. And they have a homeless gentleman who prefers to be homeless. And there are lots of people today that prefer to be homeless too. But I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would seek help, or I wish there was more help available. This country spends more money on other countries when we should be spending it on our own, but that's beside the point. So then the third person is murdered. However, the body is not dumped. It's left where they murdered her, in the brothel. So that leads to a whole new investigation going, well, the first two guys couldn't have done it because the guy is still out there, still murdering. And the finger is pointed. You're solely convinced that it's this particular person for most of the book. And the book's like, yeah, him. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's that him. And what's up with her? She's weird and creepy. And what's up with that family? They're weird and creepy. It's a very multi-layered. It keeps your attention. It flows really well. But it's got the, you just have to get, it points the finger. It gets a little, you have to really pay attention to the end, the last few chapters when they start unraveling the mystery. And one gentleman, it makes a very, very brief appearance, and apparently he was guilty of one thing, but he was like not seen very much, so he's the character that you know the least amount about, and apparently he's guilty of XYZ, and this other person suspects that he's guilty of XYZ. And the whole thing is a climactic ending. But it comes out of nowhere. You don't see it coming. And that's always a good twisty-turny that you don't see coming. It's good to have twisty-turnies. Sometimes you read a book and you're like, oh, I can see that coming, down the road. You know what's coming. You know who's done it. But this one has a couple of different. You're led to believe it's one killer, and one killer did all of this, and it isn't. There might be two killers. It's just very, very, very multi-layered. Very heavy on detail at the end. I was trying to pay attention to a couple different things that was going down. But it's a good story. I'm looking forward to the next book, and hopefully you will join me for those, and hopefully you will hit the like and subscribe. It's a good story. The pointing corruption at the cops, major, big, huge time. I like how Ned Hayes is proving to be very resourceful guy, and maybe he should try and get in back in the police. But apparently he's got a drug addiction. We haven't seen too much of that, and we haven't seen Prudence as being really good maintaining her laudanum withdrawal. Okay, but we don't know if there's anything going on between her and Joffrey yet that hasn't been addressed. And usually, and she's technically still in mourning in this book too, because not only did she lose her father, but she lost her brother. So it's interesting. It's very, very multi-layered, a very, very complex case here. The girls are being cut up like Jack the Ripper style, very precision, like someone's practicing to be a doctor, like I said. But you'll have to check it out, and please hit the like and subscribe. It's very complex ending. I'm not sure. I don't know. The jury's still out. 3.5, maybe. There's just so much, and I'm not. Uh, I'm still I'm still not bonding with the characters like I do with my Eve Dallas or the Boxer series. I'm not bonding with I'm still like watching them on TV, in watching them in the book as a third party or viewership. I'm not actually into them yet. Maybe as I read the next book, there's only a few more books to go. But I'm not getting attached to the characters as I usually do. I'm not, emotionally involved yet. We'll see what happens with book 3. So that's why, the lower rating. But it was good. It was a quicker read or slower read than expected. But I hope you will join me as we go through the next books. Don't forget Star Trek Fridays, Flashback Mondays, and watch for a daily book review. Thank you.